What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Cuts Entertainment Report podcast. And tonight, we have a very, 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 very special guest in the building. Listen, this man has been in the business for over 25 years. He's a DJ, a producer, entrepreneur, and definitely a game changer. You know who we have in the building today? We have Master Lee in the building. What's going on, big boss?
Muscle, what up, man? It's been a while, bro. Like, I've known you for so long, and you've always seen and been a part of this journey, man. So I'm glad to be here for you, bro.
Crazy. Thank you. When I said, yo, you know what? Where's Lee? Search Instagram, and I seen it hit that, and I sent a message, and you responded right away. I said, yes, Master Lee.
Right.
You know what I mean? Crazy. We have a lot to talk about tonight. So let's go right from the beginning and bring it right up to today. All right?
Shoot, go ahead.
Okay, so then now, what part of Jamaica did you grow up in, and what actually attracted you to music in the first place?
These are things about me that not even you know. I grew up in England, right? Yeah, so I actually didn't grow up on reggae music and dancehall. I grew up on pop and house music. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I came to Jamaica as a teenager now, right? My parents are Jamaican. They came back to Jamaica, wanted to come back home. Dragged me kicking and screaming with them. You know what I mean? I didn't want to come. I didn't know about Jamaica, you know what I mean? But when I came to Jamaica now, settled in and then started doing road, going out, I got introduced to reggae music and dancehall, man. And that whole culture is just infectious. Once you get a taste of it, that's it. It's done. You're now a part of it. You know what I mean?
For sure, 100%. But that I had no clue that it was really England to Jamaica. I had no idea.
Yep.
And what year we're talking about here? What year did you actually get to Jamaica?
I came to Jamaica in 86, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you said the infectious, you heard the music, you started loving it and stuff. So when did you decide to actually jump into it?
You know what? I mean, in a way, I'm kind of unruly. You know what I mean? So in school days now, right? Straight A student, but I didn't really too like school still, you know what I mean? So I never used to go. We used to bunk school, and I had some friends around me, were from, you don't know, the more garrison areas and thing. So I used to power them, go up and fit them ends, and that's how I got introduced to the real roots of dancehall. You know what I mean? Down by Cockburn Pen and those places, man. And that's when I first saw a sound with speaker boxes piled up into the air higher than I can see, it going to the moon. I'm like, yo, different vibe, virgin. And this is the real root of the culture. So that was the first introduction, right?
Mm-hmm.
After that, now, don't know, Stone Love, House of Leo. See? Now, that was a game changer, man. My mentor in the business when I went into the business was Rory from Stone Love.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw him play and I was like, yeah, I want to be him. I swear. You know what I mean? Which I'm sure it did for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's big right there. So it was Rory. And then, okay, so then now you've seen all this going in. Did you actually join a song? You built a song, you started out as a DJ. What was the first move for you?
All right, so in high school now, right, I had a song with a friend of mine, Freddie, right? And you don't know, we had a little song named Audio FX. I used to play for a friend there, man. You don't know, house parties and those things. And that's what introduced me to music. And then what happened is that I realized that I was really good at it. Nobody ever taught me how to mix or anything. I just automatically knew how to do it. Mm-hmm. And because I did it so well, I had to grow from there. You know what I mean? And then he migrated, so that kind of fell apart. And yeah, I just kind of moved on from there. From there, I went to a sound called Mellow Canary. That was my first introduction into the business of the business. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So some well-known DJs at the time, saw me, and you don't know, African Boyd actually, and yeah, they recognized the talent, man, and they introduced me to the dude who owned Mellow Canary, and they were like, yo, what do you think? And I was like, yo, forward. And I was with them for a little bit, and then this is how the story went. Doing well on that song, I got recognized by Delano. You know what I mean? You look like you don't even know this part of the story. Yeah, so let me go even back deeper then. Yeah, so you might not know this, but the majority of the Uptown selectors you know right now globally, you know what I mean? They all came from Kingston 6. So that's me, that's Dr. Dre from Renaissance, that's Jazzy T, that's Y Rush, that's Code Lank, who plays Code Red now, all from Kingston 6, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, at the time Dr. Dre was playing Renaissance, right? And yeah, Renaissance needed more people, man. And he introduced me to Delano and said, well, Delano knew me already still, but he kind of gave me the link and said, yo, lead about, man, what do you think? And I ended up on Renaissance. You know what I mean?
That I did not know about. And what year were you actually on Renaissance?
This would have been 95 or 96, I think. Nah, earlier than that, like about 94. I was with them for 2 years.
And what was that journey like on Renaissance?
That was enlightening, man, in enough ways, because the first Uptown sound to break into dancehall, really and truly, was Renaissance, man. And you know, that had a lot to do with Delano and his remix skills. And I was a remixer. Like, that's how I made my name in the music, you know, as a remixer. So to be amongst somebody like him who was basically paving the way, yeah, it was a blessing, you know what I mean? And they were the person, they were the sound that first carried me out into the world. And my first overseas date was with Renaissance.
Do you remember where it was that you actually went?
I can tell you everything about the date. I have like very close to a photographic memory, bro. Right? This was Miami, you know what I mean? And me and Dr. Dre went, you know what I mean? I think Delano had a foreign date somewhere else. So I don't remember what exact situation was. You know what I mean? And yeah, we went there and we shelled it, man. And then because me and Dre come from Kingston 6, we have that relationship. We've been practicing together and playing together for years, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's where the journey officially started.
Okay, so you're on Renaissance for about 2 years. We're talking about from about 94 to 96. Was there any reason in particular you left, or it was just time to move on?
You know, I didn't want to get into that. Let's just say it was time to move on. Put it that way, man. You know what I mean? All right.
Okay, so then what was the next move after that then?
The next move, I wasn't even sure of, to be honest, man. I just knew I had to move on, so I did. And then a friend of mine, Robert Collins now, right? He, at the time, had a very strong link with the guys that owned Travelers, the Mighty Travelers, who were, you know, the leading sound system in the 90s outside of Stone Love. It was them and Stone Love battling for #1, man. And it was like, yo, you wouldn't be interested in playing them song. And me, as an Uptown youth, I was like, nah, right? Because, I mean, you don't know the vibes, man. It's like, I was skeptical about it. You know what I mean? This is going like really into dancehall now. You know what I mean?
But wasn't Travelers actually an Uptown song though?
No. Travelers was like in the middle ground. You know what I mean? So they played a lot Uptown, but they were really a dancehall song too, man. So, I mean, they played in everywhere in Jamaica, from Tivoli, Rima, Jungle, back to everywhere in rural Jamaica, etc. Now, call it that, yo, maybe we get brought back because, you know, I'm playing Renaissance and Uptown sound, you know what I mean? So it was way out for me when, you know, my brethren brought it to me originally, right? But you don't know, as I said, I used to bun school and, yeah, got enough place, you know what I mean? So it wasn't really a deal to me. So I thought about it twice now and I was like, you know what? It's definitely a possibility, man. Let's talk about it, see? And he hooked up a meeting between me and a person that owned the song. And yeah, this is some deep information that you wouldn't even know, man. When I started linking with them, it wasn't to play Travelers, right? Yeah, this is some real deep history now, bro, right? Because the dude that owned Travelers, dude named Kirk, he had an intention to take over the whole business, see? So, you don't know. He didn't build that song from scratch. He bought Travelers.
Travelers wasn't built from scratch.
Travelers was built from scratch by somebody else, right? When this guy took it over and took it to where it was in the 90s, he bought it. It was like, I'm not starting from scratch and building a song. I'm taking something that already exists. You know what I mean? And he just bought the whole thing, man. And when I linked up with them, what he wanted to do was build an Uptown song. So he wanted to have his song that competes with, you don't know, in dancehall with the likes of Stone Love and Metro and everybody else. But he wanted an Uptown song to also compete with the likes of Renaissance, etc., etc. People don't know this. You understand what I'm saying? So when I came onto the scene, my virgin introduced me to him. He was like, yo, you're the perfect person to lead this song. You already have the name. You're already connected uptown. You used to play Renaissance, so you know all of their people and all of their crowd and everything. You're the perfect person to run this, man. Mm-hmm. And that's how I ended up a part of that organization. So in the time that he was going to take to actually build that sound now, I wasn't working. And he said to me, you know what we can do in the meantime, when I have like triple dates on Travelers, I'll make you play the third date. So at least you're eating a food, you know what I mean? And you're earning. So when we had 3 dates on Travelers, I'd play the third date, but I'd shell it. He's not expecting me to shell it, because he's thinking that I'm that uptown selector. You understand what I'm saying? So I can only play uptown, but I can play anywhere. You know what I mean? And I learned from the sounds in the Garrison. You know what I mean? That's who I learned to play dancehall from. It's not like I learned to play uptown. You know what I mean?
This is where the story gets really interesting. Is a Traveler's journey here, because when you got to Travelers, who was on there already when you got there?
When I got there, it was Boxer, Juxi, Fire, a youth named Lassell, and I'm not sure if Malcolm X was a part of the sound yet. I think he was. I think he just left Stone Love. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that was this guy's formula, man. I'm gonna build a dream team. Like, yo, if I can have a Malcolm X from Stone Love, a Boxer from African Star who was notorious at the time, you know what I mean? A Juxi killer who was just full of talent. Yeah, I'm good to go. So when I came around now, saying, no, I'm about uptown selector. And he was like, And then I'd play like the third date on Travelers, shell it. So then I got promoted. You know what? Play the double date. You know what I mean?
Got you going up the line.
Yeah, so when we have 3 dates now, see, you play the second date. The second date is the second most important date. And then Boxer and Juxi would go to the most important date because they were the 2 stars on the sound at the time. So that's how me and Malcolm X started working together now, right? And then me and Malcolm X started shell everything.
What was one of the first dances or clashes you remember playing on Travelers?
That's too far back, man. I can't tell you that. There's been so many, I can't tell you the first. You know what I mean? I can't tell you the most notable. See? 3 most notable events
give me those.
in my career, right? On Travelers. Mm-hmm. 1, we clashed King Addies in the UK.
Yes.
Right? And it was such an overthrow. Mataran had left King Addies at the time still, right? King Addies was Babyface, well, named Lionface now. And a youth named Winterfresh used to play a song named Turbophonic, which was the body sound in Jamaica.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and yo, me and Juxi locked them off clean, man.
Addies in UK.
Addies in the UK. Them talk about it on the BBC. On BBC Radio. It came on BBC Radio the next day. Like, yo, mad upset. So that was one of the most notable clashes. See? The other 2 were Travelers versus Kilimanjaro at Huey. Right?
At Huey, yes. I remember because Travelers and Jaro clashed so much, but we're going to get into that just now. But I want to hear about the Huey dance.
All right, the Huey dance, man, that was like my nightmare clash, man. Right, I got him back with Code Red, but, but yeah, that was like my nightmare dance, man, because I was hot at the time, man. Like I just come in the Gleaner and talking about, they interviewed me about in the Gleaner about, you know, the whole remix thing and remixing dub plates and this and that, and yeah, Trooper decided to embarrass me about that, man. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, Master Lee, in a paper I talk about the remix thing I go on right now, it's not dub plate. And say, yeah, all that dub plate chop here, boy. Like the man did me wicked the day that. You know what I mean? And him lock off Travelers clean at you. Clean.
And who was playing that? It was you and who else that was playing that night? On Travelers.
Squad was there. I was there. Juxi was definitely there. I think Malcolm X was there. I don't know if Boxer was there still. You understand what I'm saying? But yo, pretty much the full squad, man. And it was Jaro with Trooper, which is the Jaro that we're all, you know what I mean? That legendary Jaro. And yeah, the man did wicked.
Wow. Yeah, I remember those clashes. It's like Jaro and Travelers played as much as Jaro and Black Cat did at one time. It's like every week, couple times a week, Jaro and Travelers, Jaro and Travelers.
You know the funny thing about that though, that we was bridging,
Yeah, for
like
sure.
real bridging, like real bridging. Like Trooper and the boss for Travelers was like real friends, meaning like he would come check him in the yard, and even after we're done war, you know, we'd all link up and chat about it, you know, real bridging, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's just sort of thing go. It's competitive though. Because Trooper is a man where, when it comes to himself, friendship done until after that answer.
Yeah.
See? Straight. And I would do anything me need to do for win. Just know that. You know what I mean? So
That's
yeah.
very good, because I know the link Kirk Matthews and Trooper, they had a real good connection. It's almost like Trooper's job was to bring Travelers into certain places and give them the bus.
Yeah, in a way, that's kind of before my time, but definitely him being associated with the sound and giving him the help he did a lot for the sound. You know what I mean? And the whole heap of dub them voice up by Jaro Studio. You know what I mean? Whole heap of artists for them voice is Trooper get them artists and say, him call them, come on the studio, them go up there, go voice them, etc. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a strong link still.
Okay. And what would be the third Clash on Travelers that you remember that you can't forget?
The third one was Travelers versus Bodyguard with Firelinks in New York.
Yes. Big clash.
Big clash, man. It went on to like wee hours of the morning, man. And that's when I got first-hand experience of like, how bad Firelinks is. You know what I mean? Bad selector. Got him back with quarter 2, by the way.
Yeah.
We're not in there. So yeah. But yeah, man, it's all good, man.
And do you remember that Bodyguard dance in particular? It was Brooklyn. What was it about that dancer that was so memorable to you?
I guess for me, it was the command that Firelinks had over the crowd, man. You know what I mean? And we grew up on certain selectors. You don't know whether it be the Ricky Trooper them or the Squingy them from Base Odyssey. You know what I mean? Peace out to my youth. You know what I mean? Like Firelinks' level of performance, like he's a performer. That's the difference. Like, for example, you have a Mataran, legend in the business. Mataran full of chat. Mataran is a murderer, but he must stand up and kill you. You know what I mean? Firelinks kind of like Squingy, he might climb up on something and he might entry on top of the speaker box over there, so and then him run gun, like all over the place, man. And that's what caught us off guard. Not really off guard, but it put us off balance, man. Because it's like Juxia try to compete with him in his own element, which you cannot do. You know what I mean? Like, if Links do this, don't try to follow Links and do that. There's a reason why Links do that. Maybe you can't do it like him, maybe you can. But what you want to do is something different. You want to counteract it in a different way. You know what I mean? So, that was the third most memorable clash, man.
Yeah. Okay. I have some here too. I'm not sure if you were actually a part of them, but let's go through this list I have and we'll take it from there. Okay.
Sure.
So we talked about the Bodyguard. That was 98 in Brooklyn there. Another one was, were you actually at the Travelers versus Stone Love?
Funnily enough, you're talking about the one in Ochi, right?
Yes.
I was there, but I was there as Renaissance. Isn't that interesting?
What?
I was there as Renaissance. So it was Stone Love, Travelers, Another Sound, and Renaissance. And I went as Renaissance. So I was there and I saw the whole thing. You understand what I'm saying? Firsthand. You know what I mean? And that was like, one hell of a dance. Still, like, I swear. You know what I mean?
I didn't realize that part there. Okay. Another one. You said the Addies in UK. How about the Addies in Washington?
No, I don't think I was there, man.
Yeah, man, you were there. That was the one with Face. It was at the DC Dragon Center. Face was playing Addies. I think it might have been him by himself. And it was you, Juxi, and I think one other person that was clashing Addies in Washington.
I vaguely recall it. Now that you mention it, I vaguely recall it still. And yeah, it was Face alone. I remember that. And I remember him calling us in, and then me and Jukes did play, and then him come back in. It was him alone.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Brooksy had on a cordless microphone, one of those ones that goes
Yes.
around.
Yes.
Yeah, big
Yes.
one there. Okay, another one here. This was, I'm not sure if you were here at this one. This was Travelers Bass Odyssey versus LP and Soul Supreme in New York.
Nah. I wasn't there. I think that was before my time still.
Before your time there too.
Yeah, that's before my time.
Did you actually clash Bass Odyssey on Travelers?
No, never. That's the reason why I know it's before my time. Never clashed Bass Odyssey. I never clashed LP. You understand what I'm saying? So it had to have been before my time.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So when you're there, tell me some of your favorite dubs in Travelers Box that you actually like to play back then.
The Beanie Man Bounty Killer, which was legendary. You know what I mean? The only song to play two-man in combination. There's just so many of them, man. Because at the time, you know, like, we had a good relationship with Killer, you know, but we were really Beanie Man sounds. So everything Beanie Man did, we got first. You know what I mean? Trap, a lot. So many dubs, man. And everything that Kirk voiced was like 3 the hard way. You know what I mean?
One of my
basically-
my favorite juggling on Travelers was when you guys would play, I think it was the 6 or 7 killers on the corduroy rhythm. Back to back.
Yeah. That's what it was about, man. I mean, it was a heavy sound still, you know what I mean? Like, pull no punches. And yeah, when them man that voice dubbing them, they don't even like voice one artist by himself. It's like call 3-4 to the studio one time and just voice them in combination. You know what I mean? That's what made our dubs anthems and exclusive. You know what I mean? Because and I put a lot of what I learned from those previous songs and studying them and working with them into what we did with Code Red, man.
For sure. With Travelers, did you actually cut any of the dubs there, or you were more or less selecting and doing that type of stuff on the sound?
I was more of a selector. I mean, I was there sometimes at the studio session. So when we were by Spraga and Cobra, I was there. So, you know, I knew them from them time then because of that, you know what I mean? But the main guys voicing the dubs were Juxi and a Boxer, put it that way, you know what I mean? They were the most notorious on the sound at the time, you know what I mean? So when I came in, you know what I mean, I was still a young gun. And I mean, they were already fully loaded, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah. Even some of do you remember some classical juggling dances with Travelers?
Too many, man. I guess none I can single out. You have to remember, you know, at this point in time, when I moved from being the third dance selector to the second dance selector to the first dance selector, I mean, I was playing 3-4 nights a week. When I started traveling, I was on a plane every single weekend. People thought I lived in foreign because you're talking about a 2-year period where I'm literally playing a dance overseas every single weekend. So I come back to Jamaica for 1 day. That's it, and then be gone again. Because it wouldn't string together the dates like you would know. You know, like how, for example, you'd have 1 date in Miami, 1 date in New York, 1 date in Atlanta. You wouldn't want the third promoter to be dependent on those selectors already being in foreign. So how it always worked was if we had a date in Miami, we'd go play that date and come back. Even if the date in Atlanta was the next day, you know, right? We'd leave again the next day and go to Atlanta and come back. So everybody get them date, everybody book them tickets, and mad work, man. But that's the reason why it's hard for me to single out a one juggling dance in particular and say, that dance, because there's just so many of them, man.
Yeah.
The clash dances stick out more to me, you know what I mean?
That makes sense because you say you were traveling. Do you remember the first place you actually traveled on Travelers?
That probably would have been Miami. I can't remember the date exactly. That would require some deep thought, man. But it was probably Miami. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I went with Malcolm X. That's what it was, man. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah. So you and Malcolm X were basically the team at that time there.
Yeah, so me and Malcolm X were the team. And then Travelers was exploding at the time, right? So not only did we have like 3-4 dates a week in Jamaica, now we started having double dates in foreign and them thing there. So then it was like Boxer and Juxi got to 1 date, and then me and Malcolm X had the next date. You know what I mean? So we have played dance all over the world, man.
Mhm. That's crazy right there. And on your time on Travelers, there was never a time where they had set up a dance with Travelers and Stone Love to play again, or that never happened at that time there.
We did play with Stone Love, if I remember correctly, after that. But by that time, the beef had squashed. You know what I mean? Nobody was trying to put it behind them. It's like, yo, if the two of us fight against each other or we have this beef, it's not really helping anybody. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do recall playing back with Stone Love still. You know what I mean? Little bit competitive, but not like no war thing or not like that or nah. You know what I mean? By that time, the two sound owners had squashed it.
All right. And who would you say gave you the best run for your money when you were on Travelers? Which sound?
With sound?
Yeah. Every time you meet this song, it's like, oh, outside of Jaro. Every time you meet this song, it's like, holy smokes, man.
You know, say this is gonna sound egotistical, but it's not.
Mhm.
Nobody never really threatened me still.
Mhm.
Other than in the Clash world. Like in the Clash world, that different. Because remember that Travelers isn't really a clash sound. Yes, we could clash. And yes, we did win many clashes. We lost too, as every sound does, but they're not really a clash sound. They're more that sound in the middle that can go either way. You know what I mean? But who we were going up against, these are clash veterans. Chupa not know about juggling. The man I'm murderer. See me? Right around the world, all the continents. Like all I do is kill every day. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I felt threatened or challenged in those environments, but in a juggling environment, nah, none at all. Because not only do I know the dancehall side of it, I know the uptown side of it. And this is when, like, people like Delana and myself, we popularized hip hop in Jamaica. We brought hip hop to Jamaica. You understand what I'm saying? So when Stone Love started playing hip hop, for example, which was the first real big dancehall song to play hip hop, see, it's because Rory and Delano are par. You know what I mean? So he kind of knows what going through Delano, and then him started them play with Renaissance a couple times, and Renaissance played some hip hop, and it bust a place, and I'm like, yo, the Stone Love start play hip hop. But me grew up on hip hop. So me playing hip hop and a dancehall song playing hip hop at that time is two different things. But Jamaica is becoming primed for hip hop now. You understand what I'm saying? So not only could I play the dancehall as well as any other dancehall selector, I could also dip and go into hip hop. You know what I mean? And that's when the remix thing did come.
Got you. And were you actually doing remixes on Travelers, or this is after you left Travelers you were doing them?
No, man, I've been doing remixes from Renaissance days.
No, but I mean, as in, okay, Renaissance, yeah, you're doing the remixes, but when you got to Travelers, were you doing remixes for Travelers also?
Yeah, man, for sure. I can't play without remixes. It's just, that's what I was known for. Like, that's what made me stand out from everybody else. That's what made me stand out on Travelers. It wasn't just the fact that I could play well. It's because now I'm playing these remixes with these huge dubs. See? And people are like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, definitely, man.
Do you remember some of the remixes you actually made back then? For Travelers?
The one in particular would be when I combined a Fugees. See, this was the Fugees song. And Fugees was huge at the time. Ooh la la la, na 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 na. And I combined them with Bounty Killer. So it sounded like a combination, Fugees and Bounty Killer, before he ever did a song with them. Bear that in mind, right?
Okay.
And yeah, I think it was a Travelers exclusive dub, Woman at Trailway or something. You know what I mean?
It was on the Mission Impossible rhythm or something like that?
It was on Fearless Rhythm. I remember that dub very, very, very well, because one of the dances I played, right? I remember at this point in time, I'm not the studio man, so it's not like I know a lot of the artists, they know of me and I know of them, obviously. But it's not like me and them link. And I remember I played a dance and I played that particular song. And when I was walking to the crowd, Beanie Man stopped me. And them say, yo, Lee, I remixed it. Bad. And I'll never forget that. Because at that point in time, I didn't know Beanie Man that way. You know what I mean? I'm just try and make my name. And from him stop me and say, yo, that Bounty Killer remix there. Bad. I'm like,
you know, okay.
Really bad then. You know what I mean? So yeah, I remember that one, man. But yeah, man, no,
Crazy. All right. One last thing I want to ask you here about Travelers. When it came to you said earlier that Trooper gave you a wicked killing on Travelers. Do you remember a time where Travelers killed back Jaro?
Not with me playing the song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, Travelers, to my recollection, yes, has killed Jaro. They've also killed Firelink and Bodyguard. You know what I mean? They kill everybody. You see me? But not when I was playing the song still.
Not there. All right. And how long were you actually on Travelers for?
That would have been another 2 years, possibly 3, I think. So we're coming up to like 98, 99 now.
Okay. And this is where thing. Reason why you left Travelers and moved on?
Same thing, man. It's like nothing to get into, but just to say, yo, I had to move on, man. I just that sort of thing, man. See, for enough reasons. You see me?
Got you.
You know what I mean?
So then, okay, now you did the Travelers for 2 or 3. Okay, first you did the Renaissance for 2, then you came to Travelers, did the 2 or 3. What was the move after Travelers now? Where did you end up going? Or what did you end up doing?
This is a very, really technical and interesting part of the story now, right? So after Travelers, I started playing as Master Lee. But the key thing that I need to point out here is that Travelers made me meet Rush. Rush, who is my right hand, my business partner, my closest friend, me and him build Code Red, right? The reason I met him is because he was a remix youth, see? And him just come from, he used to live in New York, come from New York, come back to Jamaica, came to do high school in Jamaica, went to college in New York, come back to Jamaica now. And him didn't know of me, obviously, see? And him was like, yo, I have some bad remix. I would have loved to bust some of my remix in my Jamaica, see? So he went to go link Travelers and give them his remixes to say, yo, I wouldn't be interested in playing this. You know what I mean? And I remember the boss for the song called me and I'm at my house, see? Never met Rush before, see? Don't know him from nowhere, see? And the boss called me and him say, yo, I have 2 youth in front of me right now. It's Rush and an ex-virgin who was working together at the time, see? Them have some remix and them bad still. So you would have want you come listen to them. And them say, yo, I don't know, them 2 youth here, maybe them could have worked with our idea for our Uptown song. That's how I met Rush, you know. You see me? So he's thinking, the boss for Travelers is thinking like, yo, interview them 2 youth here, see, and see if them can work for our plan for this Uptown song. You see me? And I went up to the office, I met Rush, I met the other youth, see, we actually went back to my house to, you know, just kind of like a demo thing to let them play and support. And, you know, I mean, this is before I got totally caught up into Travelers and I became their leading selector. So this was before that, right?
Okay, so this is early.
This is early. This is long before Code Red. You know what I mean? This is in the height of Travelers days. You see me? Now, so again, going back to the Kingston 6 thing, him live at Kingston 6 and he was going to UA at the time. He must finish it in degree or whatever at UA. You see me? So when I'm coming back from UA, he stop and check me and say, yo, why go and lay and me and him all a reason. So me and him turn brethren. When I left Travelers now, see? And I said, all right, good. Well, don't know what I'm going to do next, but my name, I gotta get my date. I'm saying, I can't do it alone. I mean, him is Virgin. You see me? And he had a song at the time named Black Talent, which was popular amongst, you know, the high school people and the Sweet 16 crowds, and they used to get like college dates and them thing there. But so he was already playing as that song, and me and him was Virgin, and I was like, you know what? Forward. See, let me start playing some date together. The first dubs I cut actually say Master Lee and DJ Rush. They don't say Master Lee alone. See, they don't say Code Red. Master Lee and DJ Rush became Code Red.
Okay, so you guys were 2 separate entities that built Code Red together.
Yeah, so what happened was, so I started playing dates, see? Them are young youth. You see me? So I'm basically the big man in the business. He's a young youth. You don't know, it's like, you have to recognize the new generation of stars, you know, that's how you keep your thing going. And I knew this youth would be a star. He's a star now. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, him remix them bad. Me and him get along. He's the person I should pass the baton to. It's the same way him recognize Lank, who is on Code Red now. And him say, yo, him is the person I should pass the baton to. And him pass the baton to Lank. You know what I mean? So yeah, me and him start play date now. And then we're playing dates as Master Lee and DJ Rush. See? And I'm gonna skip the part in how that became Code Red because I want to tell you what happened in between.
Okay, and then we'll get back to that part
And
somewhere.
we'll get back to that part. See?
Okay.
So I'm playing dates as Master Lee, see? And Rush is there, obviously, see? But I have a studio now in Mona, see? From Kingston 6. See? So I'm set up my little studio now, see? And this is when the business, meaning the artists, them, the whole artist fraternity was trying to move away from the public studios like Arrows, etc., etc. You see me? So here it is now. Lee, who them know, can know all artists them from Travelers. You see me? I have a private studio now. See? So we're talking about a 2-year period. See? Let's say 1990 to 2001. See? Before Code Red. It went into Code Red, obviously, but yo, I had all the biggest artists from me every single day, man. Like, you name it, I've voiced them. Sizzla, Bojo, Beanie, Bounty, Sham, everybody you can think of, Cabra, Spraga, they all used to come to me to voice private. And bear in mind that in this time, see, when we turned around to 2000, this is when Alliance was Bounty, Kartel, Mavado, Busy, Wayne Marshall, Bling Dog, you understand what I say? And them they're run by me every single day.
And it's your studio is where everybody's gathering at, and this time it's in Uptown.
This is now Uptown. Everybody's trying to come out of that congregation of artists. There were 2 studios in Kingston 6, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the real legacy of what I want now. You had 2 studios, 2 blocks from each other. You had Master Lee studio and you had Don Corleone studio.
Bam. Yes.
And Don Corleone is obviously the mega producer from that time. And what would happen is the artists them now would come to my studio, write them song them, or do them dub plate work, then leave from me, go up by Don, record the 45 them. When they're done this, so come back to me. It's always back and forth for like 2 years. You know what I mean? So that's what I really did after Travelers. I was playing as Master Lee and DJ Rush, see? Mostly Uptown events, see? And I had my studio, which was basically like the most popular studio in Jamaica at the time, definitely in Kingston, man, you know what I mean? Working with these artists in and out every single day.
And you had built your studio to do remixes and dub plates. That was your real main intention when you started the studio.
Yeah, I mean, I needed a studio for myself, and I knew that one day I'd want to go into production. But I mean, really and truly, it's like I've already turned my back on the academic world. I'm not going back into that. You know what I mean? And I've already traveled the world as a selector now. You know what I mean? So this is it for me. What do I do next? Until I figure out what to do sound-wise. And at that point in time, this is one thing I should point out. I decided I was never going to work for another sound. So that kind of gives you an insight as to why I moved on without going into anything. But now I work for nobody again. I'm going to depend on that. You see me? So until I figure out that part, build a studio, work with an artist then. You know what I mean? And I built my studio, work with the artists then. And that was like phenomenal. Like so many of the artists and more icons now, I watched them grow. Me and my brethren from them start. I know Sasko from before me about having first song. You know what I mean? He calls me by my first name. I call him by his first name. See? Same thing with Kartel, same thing with Mavado. You understand what I'm saying?
So you've seen early Sasko, early Mavado, early Kartel.
Yeah, man. For sure. Sure.
Because I guess they were just trying to get their break in the business at this time when you have the studio and you're the Master Lee. So they want to come connect with you. You're not looking for them.
It's not even that. It's because Killer done connect with me, right? So me and Killer link now. Killer in many ways, is hugely responsible for my career in this business, You know what I mean? Because you have 2 icons in the industry, especially at the time, which are Bounty Killer and Beanie Man. The first dub I ever got was from Beanie Man, right? So big props to Beanie for that. I was closely associated with Shocking Vybz at the time, and I got Beanie Man and Tanto Mencha and Devante and dub. Those are the first Master Lee dubs. See? Now, when it came around to Code Red now, the endorsement I got from Killer, like, yo, this is ridiculous, man. You know what I mean? Ridiculous.
So okay. So then you said coming to Code Red. So then now let's get back to how you actually built up Code Red now. How did you guys even come up with your name? And it was just you and Rush in the beginning?
All right. So me and Rush playing as a team now. See? And it basically, like, he was still playing as Black Talent. You know what I mean? So did I film friend them and then I play them smaller dances. But I know when me there and I know I want to go to the big dance them and this and that and rare. So the dances that me and him were playing were a lot bigger than the dances that they were playing. So I said to him, yo, forward, man. I could just, do this thing full time. And he's very much like me. So, he said to me, like, literally, I can't work for you. See, like, that's not going to work. The same way you not work for them sound there, but not going to work for you. And I was like, then I could just start a sound then. You see me? And that's how it came about, man. And I said to him that if we are going to do this, it can't be me and you alone, though. I mean, it's been me and you alone playing. So how would that be a song? We need one more person, man. And I'm basically working off of the same formula as Travelers, which was I'm building my dream team here. So me no say I'm the experienced man in the business, the elder then. So you don't tour the world and have all the experience and have all the link them. Me and all the artists them good. Have the most popular studio right now, all the artists them around me. See? Cool. See? Rush is the young youth, full of talent. Film career is written. Him just need to be a part of the right team. There was another youth named Super Hype, was playing a song named Essence. See? Who, by the way, I gave the name Super Hype. He wasn't called Super Hype at the time.
Super hype, as in dirty wine super hype.
Yes. See? Super Hype went by a different name at the time. See?
What was his original name?
I don't even know I don't even want to go into that. See? Because I don't know if you would like me saying that right now. But anyway.
Okay.
I changed it because I said, yo, that name there too easy for Kiad. See? You gotta run up in a sound and dead. When I def on that, Super Happy name. See? And that was the dream team. It was me as the established person in the business and the two newest, youngest talents, which was Rush, Super Hype. You know what I mean? And I called it right because the Twitter my icons now. You know what I mean? So they were the two most talented youths in the business at the time. And that's how Code Red started. And you asked how we got the name. So now the three of us now, we're consolidating dates. See? So when I have a Master Lee date, I'm no longer playing it as Master Lee. I'm not trying to play it alone. It's now me, Rush, and Super Hype got to that date. When Rush have a date, see, the three of us got to that date. When Super Hype have a date, the three of us got to that date. See? Consolidating everything. Because them have the young market, them have the Sweet 16s, them have the colleges, I have the big dance thing. So between the three of us, we have everything. See? And we're going to country one day to play a dance. See? And we're trying to think of a name. Whole heap of name throughout there, not no stick. And then Super Hype says no. See? Say, the last time the trio will link up and play an event, see? The trio we wear red, what do you think about Code Red? And that's how we got the name Code Red. Like, people don't even know these things, man. Super Hype. I gave Super Hype the name Super Hype. And Super Hype gave some the name Code Red. See? And that's the history of where this has come from. You know what I mean?
Crazy. And what year did Code Red officially start then?
2001, man. That was our anthem dub. Saska, 2001. Code Red appeared to the world now. We're boss, yeah. You see me? That was one of our anthem dubs, man.
Got you. Big. Okay, so then now you have Rush, which is now ZJ Rush or Y Rush.
Right.
Super Hype and Master Lee. What was the game plan? What was it that you guys wanted to do with this song here, Code Red? What did you guys plan to do?
We just wanted to be the newest, biggest thing. And it's like we were more thinking Uptown originally still. Who steered the sound into the streets was actually Rush. See? Not me. See, and I saw that story too. A lot of the majority of the growth of Code Red, other than that initial bus, which was all of us. See? Like Rush had a different vision, and we're getting a lot of fight and competition uptown. Just people that fight against one thing, personal and whatever. And Rush was a person that said, yo, Uncle Garrison, forget about this. See? And at the time, we had brought in another selector who is legendary, which is Blade.
Bam.
Okay? So the sound bust real quick because we're talking about 3 people, 1 who have legacy and 2 who are the 2 most popular youths in the business at the time. And I have the most popular studio. So when you talk about dub, nobody don't have dub like we, see? Plus, a 2 remix man upon the sound. So nobody don't have dub like we, nobody don't have remix like we. You understand? All right, cool. And we started obviously getting double dates and them thing them are. See? Now, from Travelers now, them time there, I met a youth named Wingy Trooper. See, and I can give you his first name, but not the super. See? I give you his first name, see? The youth named Wingy Trooper. Why I came the bad like Trooper? See, then we used to play a song from Standpipe, and then you don't know the nucleus of Travelers is from Standpipe. See? Kingston 6 same way, see? And yeah, he was like the natural addition to the song because the song now was becoming more hardcore. You know what I mean? We had the double dates, the man thing. Saying I'd actually played a date with him and taken him to Canada with me when I was playing dates as Master Lee. See, so the first date I played in Canada, right, as Master Lee was me and Blade.
But he was as Wingy Trooper that time there.
Yes, I gave him the name Blade too, by the way. I didn't rename him until Code Red Days, if I remember correctly. So, a little before Code Red Days. I was like, yo, you're sharp like a razor. You're name Blade. And him say, yo, something like that name there. Now work with it. And he just took it on, man. So now you have a team now of 4 people. Me, Rush, Super High, Blade. And then we split up on the dates together, etc., etc. You know what I mean? After a certain amount of time, Super High kind of went his own way, saying, I guess him did want, you don't know, explore film thing on him own, which is fine. All of us are still good friends up to this day. So it's all good, man. You know what I mean? And Rush and Blade became the team on the song. Because at this point in time, I had backed off and become that Weepo role. I'm now the man behind the song, put it that way there. You know what I mean? I'm taking the bookings, I'm dealing with the management side of it, this and that, etc., etc. So Rush and Blade, I play the dance them now, see? And at this point in time, we'd already switched and come out to Uptown. Rush said, yo, I want to carry the song. I remember when him tell me, say, yo, Lee, so I carry the song go streets, I carry it to the garrison. I'm like, you sure? See? I've been there and I've done that with Travelers. And I'm like, you sure? A good Uptown sound? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, man, the right thing for the we're not gonna get big. We'll never get big like Travelers, Stone Love, Bodyguard, any of them sound there. See? Unless we take it to the streets. See it? And them say, yeah, obviously, we can do it. See it? And Blade is from the streets. When him and Blade link up and start shell dancing, like remind me of me and Juxie. Like, man, flatten everything, like Squingy and Mark from this Odyssey. Everything flatten. You know what I mean? And yeah, to the point where him say, yo, we need some bigger dance. See? I was like, yeah, him say, yeah, we need Fully Loaded.
Okay, so then now, what was do you remember the first year Fully Loaded that you guys actually played on?
I can't tell you it year for year, right? Okay. I can't tell you the exact year, but I can tell you the details about what happened.
That's what I want to know then.
Right. All right, so the first time I went to Fully Loaded now, right? They put us in the small sound segment because I'm Fully Loaded, which you don't know, is a juggling dance, but it's kind of also like a clash dance. And it's very, very, very competitive. All the sound them cut dub to each other, and it's a huge stage with 10,000 people. Ridiculous. See? Ridiculous, see? And yeah, when Rush said, yo, I want Fully Loaded. We are going to take it on. I said, all right, good. I call Sharon, I'm going to say, yeah, we want Fully Loaded. She's like, you sure? Yes, Sharon, I want Fully Loaded. See? All right. Put me in a small sound segment. See? Don't know, not a big sound in that league or that understanding yet. Put it that way there. You know what I mean? And we're going to play the small sound segment and flatten it, which allowed us to move up to the big sound segment the second year.
Okay. This is what I want to ask you. If it was thing there, if you could even remember this, do you remember how you guys even prepared for the first year Fully Loaded? What was the game plan going in as Code Red, where we're going to actually present to the world, say, hey, we're here now. What was that plan to go into Fully Loaded?
In all honesty, we didn't really have a good understanding of the dance or how to play the dance in that first year. Like we went there, yeah, we'll build some remix and thing and we'll cut some dub, but you don't really understand how to play an event like Fully Loaded until you go to an event like Fully Loaded. And I can tell you what changed after that first year, what we learned after that first year, and then that's how we became the Fully Loaded sound after that, and one Fully Loaded year after year after year for like 3-4 years straight. And I can tell you,
I got time. I got time. Let's talk.
We went to that Fully Loaded and we juggled. And the 1 and 2 dub them where we would consider to be more hardcore then, see? And challenge some other people, see? Never really got the forward that we wanted it to, man. We didn't really have the bucket at the time either. This is Fully Loaded. Understand that as much as I'm Master Lee and all the artists them around me, they're backing the people they expect to win Fully Loaded. They ain't backing us.
No.
Like we as artists, we're not giving you our biggest song them because we want Mataran to play them. You know what I mean? We don't want you to play them and then them can't play back in our night. We're not depend on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we really have no whole heap of tunes still. But what we looked at and learned and figured out was that the way to win a clash like this or an event that's as challenging as this is to not blatantly attack other sounds, is to poke fun at them, card them, make the people them enjoy themselves. If you're going to write over a dub, make the people them laugh off of the selector. Don't just say, yo, me I going to kill you, me a better sound than you. Nobody in the business with that. If bass are the same for them sound and them hear that, then no business. Bass are the same my sound, you can't tell me that. But if you shoot off a selector now, and as much as that selector is your selector, the actual dub is funny. Yeah. You're gonna laugh. You might try to hold it and say, yo, John Star, you know, say, imagine, I'm a selector, you know, but yo, that dub is funny, man. You get what I'm saying? And that's how we learned. We learned that the key was to be entertaining, man. You see me? And then Blade is a natural on stage. Like I've never seen anybody handle a stage like Blade. You know what I mean? Like when you talk about all the greats, including Mataran and Filings, saying Blade is right up there with them. I mean, at one point in time, Mataran would introduce him at Fully Loaded. Yo, me I call on my son, Blade, come deal with Fully Loaded. You know what I mean? It was that good.
I remember. Okay, so let's go into the second time now. So first time you guys went, you shelled down the place. You did good now. So, but you learned that, hey, this is the style we have to play to actually really win them over. What was the game plan for the second year now going into Fully Loaded?
The game plan for the second one was to deal with the people then. See? Stop shoot off of the other sound then and just make sure you're entertaining people and you're connecting with the masses. That's what you need for them. See? Again, we got more strength this time in terms of dub plays, but we still never get full strength. And we end up build a whole heap of remix and fit up something and this and that, and we shell it.
Yeah.
So by the time the third year came around, now we got the back of it.
Okay, by year number 3. And do you remember who was on this Fully Loaded here, the year number 3 one that you guys were on?
Rush, I have to tell you all of that, man. I can hook up an interview with you and Rush, man.
For 1000%, we're happy to talk to Rush.
He knows all of that, because this is like the highlight of his career. Remember, at this point in time, you don't travel to work. This is like my second boss in the business. You know what I mean? So I'm doing it all over again. But this is like his prime time now. This is the first time he might rise to the occasion as one of the baddest selectors in the business. So he remembers every detail. The year, what time we play, what time we done play. See, who come in the studio, what time, how long them take for voice. See, everything. He remembers everything. You know what I mean?
So this is by the third time around is when you guys became that Fully Loaded type of song there.
Yeah, man.
And you guys were actually doing good. Do you remember who it came down to in that year's Fully Loaded? Was it probably like Mataran, Lynx, or whoever else that was in that segment there? Because you guys were no longer in the small song segment. You guys were now in the bigger song segment.
I can't tell you who was in that particular year, but I can tell you the most memorable parts of each event.
Okay.
Of who we went up against and who we turned over in Fully Loaded, right? One was Wyclef. So there was 1 year when Wyclef was a big stamp, and then money I come play like Teddy Riley panned up. Yeah. You know I mean?
Kenny Rogers, Whitney Houston, and all of those stuff there.
Ridiculous. See? And I think he came 2 years. He came once, and Mataran turned him over. And the second year, we rush him.
Yeah.
We all use him on tune, kill him. See? We use please call 911. See? I kill him flat. You know what I mean? So there were 3 really, really, what's the word I'm looking for? Direct clashes that went on for us at Fully Loaded. One was him. See? One was Trooper. Trooper got caught in one of them too. See?
You guys had Clash Trooper on Fully Loaded?
Nah, not clash him directly, but he played before us and we rush him. Like we rush him before him even play.
Yeah. Something
like that. But remember, in a way, me I try use my son for get back them money too, Big man thing. You see me? Like, yo, I feel like, that was my nightmare that. So saying like you ain't. See, what I forgot for Trooper. Not depend on that. Well, go for him. Plus him is a big name in the business. If you chop a man like that now, you gotta get straight. So we went for the big heads. When the smaller sounds were trying to clash each other, we didn't depend that. We are shoot off a Firelinks, we are shoot off a Mataran, we are shoot off a Ricky Trooper, we are shoot off a Wycliffe. You understand what I say? Because we are trying to prove ourselves now. Like, we're as bad as that man, like straight. You know what I mean? So yeah.
One other one that I remember, this is probably one of the bigger ones, was the Code Red versus Firelinks in Fully Loaded. I think Mataran was the host.
That was probably the biggest one still. See? And we almost never clashing. So we prepared for it, fully prepared for it. We don't decide to say, by that time we're the Fully Loaded song. See, so we're taking Fully Loaded every single year. See, we're the reigning champions. We're being booked on events and they're putting on the flyer Code Red, the Fully Loaded song. No, we're getting dub plates and we're the one that sing the Fully Loaded song. That's in the intro. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we don't make a name now, and now we're on a worldwide international scale as a big song. See? So everybody coming to Fully Loaded is going in for us now. You see me? Including Firelinks. See? And this is when Firelinks is now on his own. He's doing Firelinks. You see me? So him obviously I look for create or maintain fame status in the business too, man. And the dance had almost done. So I think police did come up, police had bought for come, something did go on, and the dance had bought for done. And we never play it, and Links never play it. See? I think Mataran done play it, and I think he was a host too, man. You see me? And we're vexed, because we are see when I get to play. We're well prepared for taking him on, See? And I said to Rush, man, I don't know we are pre-still, dog, but I know what Mataran would do in this situation. And I'm say, what? I'm gonna say, Mataran would just call tune for tune immediately. And say, I'm gonna finish it that way. Come, Links, I'm gonna finish it that way. We're gonna go tune for tune and entertain the people then. See? And Rush say, ready, boom. And him go up on stage same time. Blade call up back. Blade talk to Mataran and say, we all got tune for tune with Links. Mataran set up the whole thing. So we have finished the dance, tune for tune. Firelinks Code Red. And Firelinks doesn't know how well prepared we are. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he didn't know that we were gunning for him like that.
Got you.
You get what I'm saying? Because his focus is Mataran and them man there. Because he's from that generation. He's thinking he's going to be one of his icons. The icons like him. Him not pre-we. Him not say, we're the Fully Loaded song, but not pre-we. Like, I got that answer. I'm going to rush him. Rush him wicked. Almost every double played right over. I carried him. You see me? And then Blade being the stage man he is, Blade deal with him wicked, man. Like, all the little antics where he would normally do and get up forward. See? Blade twist him up into that. Every little thing where him do, Blade have some counteraction to it. So you see what you do a while ago, you do that because XYZ ray and make the whole crowd laugh after.
One of the big moments in there was when Blade had brought out the girl and he was, I think, dancing with the girl or something, then she left. And then Firelinks went back and got the same girl and said, tell the people that you love Firelinks. And he kept coaching her. And then she said, I love Firelinks, but I love Blade too, and ran off the stage right there.
Yeah. He came on. I remember the dance, man. He came on to the dance like a cowboy. See, he had like 2 holsters.
Yes, yes.
Play twisting up wicked. See, oh yeah, I carry gun in on a bullet.
Because I think his holster dropped off or something, and he
Yes.
picked it up and said, "Look, there's no gun in here or anything."
Yep,
Yes,
yep.
big one. And that was down in the morning because it was daylight. Everybody was out there, and you could see it was actually, I think, Mataran asked if Code Red won or if Lynx won, and then Lynx didn't really he wanted to ask his own question. He said, "No, man, I'm asking," and the crowd said, "Yo, Code Red."
Yep. That's exactly what happened, man. Down to the point where after him asking like 3 times, Lynx take the mic and him say, "Yeah, what kind of bias thing are going on? Ray. I'm you in the dance on it." You understand what I'm saying? So when we're driving out and we still hear Lynx are cussing. See, we are drive out. We're literally driving out of the venue and Lynx still let our cuss. See?
Crazy.
Win the dance and whatever. We know we done win, so it's all good, man.
All right. And what did that actually do for you guys' career as being, you guys are the Fully Loaded song? Because at Fully Loaded, there was the Fully Loaded song and there was Mr. Fully Loaded. So it was Code Red and Tony Mataran. What did that do for you guys' career from there now?
That just exploded it to a whole new level. That's what really propelled us into being a Clash song. Because up until that time, we're seen as a juggling sound that could be aggressive. See? Yeah, man, they can defend themselves, cool, but we're still a juggling sound. Hardcore juggling sound still, but we're still a juggling sound. Mm-hmm. When we are play them dub right over on them way and I get artists for call up my name and intricate with the details of the dub and this and that, people them say, yo, them man are different. That's when we started being taken on seriously as a Clash sound now. Mm-hmm. Which is why fast forward to this day, we were supposed to be in the last World Clash in UK, representing Jamaica.
What?
And COVID stopped it. See? Like, the amount of war where Code Red fight, no. You know what I mean? With the new selected them, they selected them more rush boss on the song. Him bringing Chris Diamond. And say, yo, that youth, I'll go be the next baddest MC. Him bringing DJ Lang, Code Lang. And say, yo, them man can take it to the business. And
I think I seen, was Diamond around the song when you guys clashed Lynx?
Yes. But at the time, Blade was a star on the song. Mm-hmm. You see me? So Diamond just dead, And bear in mind, this is like the changing of the guard. So when we created Code Red, Rush was a young youth. See? When Rush brought in Diamond and Lank, they were young youths. Like Diamond was maybe like 19. Young youth. You know what I mean? But again, him recognize the talent and him say, yo, them man, you see me? And so he was there for sure, but Blade was the man. You know what I mean? Him just dead as a part of the team and look and I watch and I see what I go on. Him know what himself in bad too, Like him know say, yo, me can MC that dance and shell it too, but I Blade time now.
My time will come eventually. Okay, so you guys said you guys got recognized. Do you remember what was some of your earlier clashes outside of Fully Loaded? Now said, okay, now we're going into a more hardcore arena.
Nah, I'm gonna leave those questions for when you interview Rush.
Yeah,
because them time there, you see man Blade, and the same way I was on a plane every single week with travelers. He was now on a plane every single week with Blade. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And people feel like him live a foreign because I'm there for like 1 day, 2 days at a time. You know what I mean? And better him tell them story that I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Because I know you weren't really playing sound too much. You'd come support and stuff, but you were more management, cutting dubs and stuff. Let's get more into your engineering and your studio time. Okay, because you were one of the first people I remember actually mentioning. You mentioned Sean Paul to me. All right, but this time it wasn't just Sean Paul; it was Dutty Cup crew that had Sean Paul, Nuga Man, Kid Corrupt, Chicken, Danny Gunn, and I think that was the whole crew there.
Right. Mm-hmm. You named Master Kid too.
Master Kid, yes.
Chicken and Chicken.
Yes,
Chicken. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, coming from Uptown, you had when we emerged as selectors from Uptown, you had a certain star artists who were emerging from Uptown too. You know what I mean? You already had some that had come out of the gate, like Daniel. You know what I mean? But the next generation after that was the Corrupt and the Sean Paul, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean?
And that was earlier on. So were you guys were you guys cutting songs, or did you get into production at this time here, or you were still just doing dubs?
At this point in time, I'm still doing dubs. I haven't moved into production yet, man. I wanted to say, again, going back to Masterly and DJ Rush days, one of the first dubs that I cut when I went on my own, I decided, like, yo, whatever happens, I do this thing for myself now. See? I buy Sean. You understand? So his original catalog, like, you know, Baby Girl and Buster Black Buckle, I have all them things up on dub. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You see me? As Masterly and DJ Rush. You see me?
Yeah.
I voice Corrupt, I voice Chicken, I voice Donegan. You see me? All of them just link up one day and just, give me them catalog, man. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's crazy there. And even with like a Cartel and a Movado, what was it like working with them when you were just coming in the business? A young Cartel, a young Movado, a young Busy Signal.
That's a really interesting question still. I mean, the level of talent that I saw in these guys, man, like, yo, like, it was just like wow factor, man. Like, Busy, Vado, Marshall, Cartel. I mean, Cartel's lyrical content and his ability to structure songs is just like ridiculous, especially his first set of songs. Like the first set of songs that didn't bust were so complex that it was like I was listening to an iconic rapper, see, who spoke in metaphors and parables. I'm like, yo, this youth is like, he was so far advanced that Jamaica wasn't even ready for him. He bossed when he simplified what he was doing. See? And he kind of came up with a formula. All right, I can get a little bit more witty and complex in the verse them, but I need to keep the chorus them simple to grab the people.
To bring you into the song, and then once I have you in, then we can do it.
Yep. And that's when I'm really getting break. You know what I mean? And then Movado now, I mean, his energy as a singer. Like, I've always said this, and any engineer who's worked with any level of artist, and especially that level of artist, will tell you, you don't know the ability of an artist until you voice him. See? Like, I'm telling you. See, that's why I knew that Sasko was going to be great. See? Because, let me tell you, you have certain big voice DJs in the business. See? All right, cool. We know them already. See? All right. Killer is one of them. You know that, right? All right, cool. I did a dub session one time for some Japanese with Killer and Bojo in combination, right? And when Bojo start spitting up, I'm like, yo, turn down the levels. Like, yo, like, what is, man? Like, yo, and he's crystal clear and in key. Crystal clear and in key. And I'm like, yo, ridiculous. Says there's our next one. Sasko was one of the people that impressed me like that too. He was pairing with a youth named Zumje at the time, see? And Zumje, they bring him to the studio and say, yo, listen to you, Telly. See? In bad. Name Assassin. See? And I remember I was voicing some Zumje dubs, my virgin and thing. Saying big up Zumje, by the way. And when he gave Assassin the mic, everything on the mixing board peaked. The man's voice was like huge. I'm like, yo, if them money are boss, like, yo, I'm gone. I'm gone. You know what I mean? And then he was in the stable of Icon, Sprague Benz. So it was a natural thing for him to be groomed and learn the right things. And you know what I mean? See, yeah, man, but you don't know the ability of an artist until you voice them. See?
And that's so crazy here. Again, you're seeing the veterans at this time, which is the Bounty Beanie Bojo, and you're seeing a whole new crop of artists just coming in that's hungry and they're just ready to go.
Yep. Ready. Even too ready. It's ready. Like, yo, that fit them time now, them want them break.
And even seeing Alliance, did you see Alliance form, or basically they formed and then they came to the studio type of thing?
That's another good question, man. The alliance was smaller when me and them start link. See? Yeah, it wasn't so many people. Bling Dog hadn't become a part of it yet. I don't know if Mavado was a part of it yet. I think Kartel was. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to understand because Killer has brought so many people into the business. So when him come check me, it's not like it's never him one. It's him and like 5 artists them with him kind of have on them wing. So I don't even remember, which one of those are, fall under that banner or whatever, you know what I mean?
That's so wild because again, you're coming into this. This was the early 2000s. This is 2001, 2, and all of these stuff here. So then now there was also a different crop of artists. There was the Lexus, the War 21s, there was so much of them at this time. And it's like you guys are the leader of the new school and even sounds. This is when Black Chinese just popping out. And I know you and Black Chinese had a crazy relationship too. How did you and Dupes from Black Chinese link up?
No Dupes long time, long time. From Travelers days, really and truly. Because you probably know Dupes from Black Chinese, but the same way me as an Uptown you used to play Travelers, he used to play hardcore songs before Black Chinese, before he built Black Chinese. He used to play Poison Dark.
I'm lying. That's where I met it from. I met Dupes in '99 playing on Poisoner. That's where I did meet Dupes. One time he was playing Poisoner, and next time I seen him again, it was his big Black Chinese thing. Right.
So I knew him from them time. I knew him from Travelers days. It's like I knew Khaled from Travelers days. He used to come to dance them. You know what I mean? And we used to par. Like, it's a sound link between all of us as selectors. You know what I mean? Because we're all heavily and deep into the culture, and we were the ones traveling always in Miami all the time. You know what I mean? So when Dupes created Black China which I think was before Code Red. See? Not long before Code Red, but definitely before Code Red.
Probably like a year to 18 months type of thing.
Yeah. His claim to fame was being the remix man. You know what I mean? Like when Khaled would play at Fully Loaded, the remixes that he played and shelled Fully Loaded was done by Dupes.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
But nobody knew Dupes. They knew Khaled. And Khaled is a crazy stage performer, like 100%. So he would just dismantle Fully Loaded with them remixes, eh? So we all kind of knew Dupes a remix man. And we all kind of knew each other because of the remix thing. So Delano knew of me. I ended up working for Renaissance. We knew of Dupes because he was an ex-remix man. You understand what I'm saying? I met Rush because of his remixes. It's a whole linkage just because we're kind of all in the same field within the music. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how the relationship between me and Dupes just developed, or we and Black China, because we're kind of on the same thing, man. And in a way, we're kind of competitive too. We're always trying to put out a CD that better than the Black Chinese CD, and the Black Chinese CD is they're trying to make sure that it's better than anything we put out, and you know what I mean. But it's all brothership, you know what I mean?
For sure, for sure.
That way there.
When did production now come into your life? Now, when did you decide, okay, we're doing dubs, I'm around all these artists, that's cool. When did you decide to actually start putting out songs with these guys here now? And who was the first person you decided to produce with?
That wasn't until a lot later, you know. It's like, this is like my evolution as a person now, see? So I done the sound thing in the 90s, working for people. Very successful at it, travel the world, cool. Got a lot of notoriety out of it, great. Built Code Red, that boss, traveled the world again. That took me to the places that I hadn't been to before. I hadn't been to Japan on Travelers. I hadn't been to Africa, but I did on Code Red.
On Code Red?
Yeah. I've been to Africa. Russia's been to Africa. Lanka's been to Africa. Lank just come back from Dubai right before COVID lick. You understand? Russia's now surpassed me in terms of traveling. I finished in my career as a selector 4 passports. See? Russia's now been to more places I've ever seen. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah. I did 2 tours of duty as a selector. It was time to move on to something else. You know what I mean? And that's when I started thinking about production, man. And I didn't even stay in production that long, to be honest. See? I put out a couple rhythms. My first rhythm was a rhythm called Red Bull, and I got the love of the business, obviously, man. So I had Wayne Wonder on it, I had Assassin, so many people, man. Bling Dog, Davil, TOK, there's so many people. You see me? Because me name on my name. And then I'm around these people every day. And then I'm a cool youth. So everybody gets along with me, you know what I mean? So that's the kind of vibe, you get me? So it's more like my voice for them brethren, you know what I mean? As well as I'm highly established in the business.
Okay, so your first production was a rhythm named Red Bull. What was your next production that you actually did, and did it really connect?
You talking about the Red Bull rhythm, or are you talking about the rhythm after?
The rhythm after.
The rhythm after. No, actually, let me rewind that. So let's just start back from where it is.
Okay.
From where it actually started. The first rhythm I put out was a rhythm called Fifth Avenue Rhythm. See? And at that point in time, I was working with a youth named Piranha. Like me and him had a label together. See? And he used to be with Shocking Vibes. You see me? And we put out the first rhythm, Fifth Avenue. See? Again, another all-star lineup. Sizzler, everybody where you can think about, because he has his connections, I have my connections. But after that now, saying I did my own rhythm, which was Red Bull, and I voiced my own friend them and my own artist them. See? Cool. After that now, that's pretty much when I stopped doing, because this was my label. It was called Red Dragon Music. I decided that everything I was going to do was going to be themed red. So Code Red was one. You don't know, the label was going to be called Red Dragon Music. Rush isn't even thinking about production at this time, you know. He's now traveling the world as a star selector. So that's not where his mind is. I've come into that now. You see me? So I'm deciding that I'm going to be the producer and this and that. And you see me? I did a single with TOK, which actually made their album. It's a song called Bad. It's on the TOK's album. So I did a couple singles, and then we actually officially started Code Red Records after that, right? And as Code Red Records now, this is me and Rush now producing as a team. See? We put out 2 rhythms and a couple singles. See? The rhythms were a rhythm named Enemy Lines, ridiculously all-star lineup, right? 2 Kartel. See? Like I pulled out all the stops. I called every single artist that I know, because now this is a Code Red production. This is not me producing. This is now the brand Code Red that is going into this. So it's not me doing my thing. This has to be huge. You know what I mean? We had 2 Kartel, Cabra, Sizzler, Killer. The list just goes on and on and on, man. RDX, TOK, every big name in the business at the time, we had on that rhythm. See? Every single one of them. And then we put out a continuation to that rhythm. The first rhythm was called, let's say, Enemy Lines. We put out one called Friendly Fire, because a set of artists came after and said, yo, what piece of that rhythm there?
Crazy.
So we kind of just readjusted some things and it played some new phrases. So it sounded similar, but it was kind of different. But it was a remake of the original rhythm, or a continuation of it. And we put out Thing There Man, Friendly Fire, with maybe like an additional 5 or 6 songs. After that, we put out the song that established me as a producer and that made me actually, known as a producer, which was No Cream to My Face, Bounty Killer. Right? Which came out on Code Red Records label. It's produced by me and Y Rush. You see me? Me like that rhythm. You see me?
Wow, wow, big.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I say that Killer has done so much in my career. Like after that song, Boss, I literally just link him. And I think it was BBM at the time. I could have been WhatsApp, I don't remember. But I link him and I was like, yo, respect in a general, because you're back at met Code Red Boss. And is you come boss Code Red Records. You understand what I mean? I said, so, yo, Killer different level of respect for Killer. You see me?
That's crazy there, and especially somebody like him, because I know when it goes from voicing dub plates to production, you're talking about two completely different things here. Somebody like Bounty now, how was he actually as an artist to now voice in a song? What was that process like?
Well, I did it a lot of times before because remember, like my studio in that time is like his studio. It's like his personal studio. You know what I mean? So a lot of the work he's doing for other people, he's doing at my studio. I'm here record them. You know what I mean? And then we send them the vocals and this and that. So I had a lot of experience working with Killer still. That song, he didn't even voice it by me. I sent him the rhythm. See? I gave Rush the rhythm. And I think Rush sent it to him with Blade. Blade got link him. And him did voice it and send us about the vocals. You know what I mean? And we put out the song and it shot. We actually even rearranged the song. The song wasn't voiced like that. See? No, it was slightly different. But because we are selector, I will not forget forward in our dance, especially with a quote unquote undercover clutch song. Because it wasn't really a clutch song still, but him still a true word still. You know what I mean? All those years of Warren sounds, we know what to do with the song. So we know what to put up front and what to come further down and this and that. And we rearrange the song and put it out. You know what I mean?
I just realized something. That song was for Cartel.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, so then where did that leave you guys with the whole, or Cartel had moved on already? He wasn't really around you at that time there. Or was he more over at Don Carleone at this time here now?
The thing with that is now is that I'm a very neutral person, you know, see?
For sure.
And I'm a very loyal person, but I'm very neutral. In other words, when I have two artists now, where the two of them have whatever rivalry, but me and the two of them are virgin. Don't ask me to pick side, but not after that, because my link with these artists goes beyond a DJ or sound owner and an artist. Is me and the man of my brethren. You know what I mean? Like I've gone through some things with artists that, like I've gone through personal loss, like, you know, my mom gets sick or something like that. And some of these artists are the ones that come check me and counsel me. You know what I mean? And sit down with me and reason and say, you know what? Don't watch that, man, because these things happen, man. And you know what I mean? Like me and the man have a personal relationship. So I'm not take side. So even when the alliance split, you know, see, what actually happened was I'm still working for Cartel, you know. Just that now the man them would call me and say, so one man called me, anybody around there?
You know what that means already.
Anybody around there? Got some work me have to do in a league, but you don't know, you know. Saying, no man around there? I said, no. So all right, so just, you know, so my idea is. So yeah, man, you're good, man. Then another day would come. Lee, anybody around there? I was like, no. I said, all right, that my idea is. You know what I mean? And just that sort of thing there. So they kind of all avoided each other. But, you know, I was still good with everybody, you know what I mean? Just everybody, good with Mavado, good with Busy, good with all of them, you know what I mean, individually. So, yeah.
Crazy. Okay, so then you have the big song, it comes out at Bus. That's towards the Bounty, towards Cartel. Okay, that's cool. What was the next step for Code Red Records right after this then? Because you guys have this hit on your hand now. So where's the next move?
That's where things got strange, man, because throughout this time, right, remember, you know, that when I left Travelers and went on my own, see, and me and Rush start link now, see, and we start DJing together as Master Lee and Rush, and Map the studio and the studio go on. One of the things we did at the time when we built Code Red, because we needed to have marketing material out there, see, we brought in CD equipment so that we could do a mixtape them, see, put them on CD and give them out the road. You know what I mean? And then it's like a natural thing. I am really a businessman in music and not a musician in the business. So I'm always thinking from the business side of things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So just like coming up in the game, I had to find people who could replace me so that I could fall back to the business side of the music. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we started a company called Disc to Disc, which CD duplication company, biggest one in Jamaica right now. You know what I mean? And me and Rush started that. A lot of people don't know this, saying that almost everything you see us do individually, both of us either started it or we're still in it together, right? You understand what I'm saying? So this to this gives me and him started. You know what I mean? And little after that big song with Code Red Records, saying, I'm trying to juggle now being the sound owner and taking the bookings and the this and the that and blah, the management of the sound, as well as holding up this to disc, which was now becoming a corporate entity. See, so now I'm working for the biggest companies in Jamaica. I'm working for Sagicor, Digicel, Cable and Wireless. I'm just working all the banks, Scotiabank, NCB. I'm working for everybody. You know what I mean? Doing different promotional items for them. You know what I mean? Like when they're having like a staff retreat or a conference, they would want to put whatever presentation they have on CD and make sure everybody leave with it so they can study it when they go home. So I started working for all these companies, man, and I couldn't balance the two, right? Bear in mind, I was on radio at the time. A lot of people don't know this either. See?
So hold on.
Yeah.
You're managing the sound.
Yeah.
You're producing. You
Yeah.
have your business this to this, plus
Yeah.
you're a DJ on the radio.
Yeah. I had a Saturday night show on a station called Hot 102 FM, right?
Yes.
This is before Rush went to Zip, right? So I'm juggling all these things now, see? And I just had to make a decision, man. It's a Jah works thing. Like, when Jah give you the blessing, either you're going to turn your back on it like a fool, or you're going to say, you know what? Give thanks. See? And at this point in time, Rush was a done in the business now. You know what I mean? So I didn't need to be the head of Code Red anymore or nothing like that. You know what I mean? At that point in time, we'd already brought in, or he had already brought in, a DJ Lank, a Code Lank, and a Chris Diamond. You understand what I'm saying? So we had a team that could sustain the business without me. Never have nothing to do with me again. I didn't need to be there. So I came to that crossroads and I was like, you know what? I'm going to pursue this, man. You see me? Because I can't make this opportunity pass me. You know what I mean? And there's no way I can be in the studio until 5 o'clock in the morning, working on production or whatever it is. You see me? And then at 7:30 in the morning, a representative from one of these corporate, entities are calling me because they're on the way to work and they have to report to their boss how far I am with their job. You know what I mean? And that's what was happening. I was up to 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm being woken up at 8 o'clock by somebody on the way to work, some brand manager saying, yo, so, how we stay with this and that and rare, whatever. I couldn't do it, man. So at that point in time, I split and I said, yo, you are Rush. You deal with the song. See? Deal with everything. Saying you done play the sound, you done bust the sound, manage it. I'll still help you with all the dub them. You know what I mean? I'm gonna prepare for the big dance because a lot of the songs that we rewrote for those clashes is me and him rewrite them. So I'll still help you with the preparation, no problem. Saying, but in terms of the management of the sound, you deal with that. You take the bookings, everything. You know what I mean? Me need to pursue this. You see me? So I kind of came out of music at that point in time. See? And then this is how the transition went now. That's when Rush became a producer.
Got you. Because the trick with it, what a lot of people don't understand is like, okay, being a producer, that's the sexy part of business. But where you're going to make real money would be dealing with corporates like what you're doing with the disc to disc. And you decided like, okay, you know what? Clearly, I know sexy and cool and all of that would be the producer. But where am I going to make some real money to do some real things? Has to be this corporate business right here.
Yeah, and it's just like I said, it's like the opportunity was there. If I didn't have the opportunity, then maybe I would have chosen differently. But it presented itself to me. And I saw the conflict. I was like, that's when I quit radio too. Because one of the jobs, my biggest job at the time, still my biggest job up to this day, I get it every single year. See? They always send me the material on Saturday night and I need it by Monday morning. My show was a Saturday show. And I was like, why am I here on radio when I'm not really invested in the music industry like that anymore? You know what I mean? And then I'm trying to balance that and balance this, and this is what's gonna pay me the big check. You know what I mean? I'm more doing the music thing just because I like it, not really because I'm getting paid anything on radio. That's anything to talk about. You know what I mean? It's not like I was on the biggest station or anything like that. So it's like, that was more me trying to still be a part of the industry in a way that now I could do from without being so hands-on. Like I still wanted to play music because I have that passion. But if I can do it in a radio station setting for 3 hours every single Saturday, that's different. That's not taking anything out of me until it became in conflict with that corporate work. And then I left that too, man. You know what I mean? So after No Cream to My Face, Code Red Records, seeing, I went to continue to grow and build this to this, that whole entrepreneur path, grew it into a company that does so much more than CDs and DVDs now. We do all kinds of promotional items, you know what I mean? Branded material, not just for the artists and the music industry, but for corporate too. So I have the best of both worlds because I'm coming from the music industry. So a lot of my clients, them know me from me as selector. I still do CDs for Charlie Black now. You know what I mean? And Charlie Black know me from Bass Odyssey days. You know what I mean? John Paul, same thing. Like, them man, I know me as Lee. We grow with Lee in the business. So if we're going to give anybody work to do right now to do with marketing our careers, see, we're going to give it to Lee. You know what I mean? I remember when Chronix come check me, I burnt Chronix first promotional CD. And him linked me and he was like, yo, Lee, listen to tune them. Saying, because, yo, is a blessing for a man like you and where you reaching out the business for, I listen to my song. Them time them don't have a hit song. You know
so this is before Behind Curtain and stuff like this.
Yeah. Long before that. Long before that. This is after Protege done boss. Kabaka don't boss yet. See? And Chronix don't boss yet. But I knew Kabaka from before. You see me? And he kind of introduced me to Chronix in terms of his music and thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is long before Chronix boss. You see me? So I had the love from the music business because I got along with everybody. And I had corporate because I'm on time, I'm professional. I can deal with them on their level because I'm an academic youth. So it's like, you know what I mean? I could have been a lawyer or a doctor. So I can relate with anybody on any level, put it that way. You know what I mean? No matter what management level they're on, whether they're CEO, I can deal with all of them. So that's what happened with that. And then in a way that kind of left Rush in a situation whereby he would have wanted to produce, but now his producer is now gone because I was the person producing.
Okay, because as you said, he didn't actually come into it yet. You guys formed the company, but now you left, so he had to get into it.
Right. So he wasn't producing at the time. He wasn't mixing, nothing like that. I was doing everything. You know what I mean? Well, I wasn't doing mixing still, but I was doing the production. You know what I mean? And so when I exited now, and then obviously him being on the path he is, saying and knowing that that's what he wanted to do too, that's where he was going with it. You know, he wanted to be a producer and so forth. He now had to go and learn production and learn how to mix. And that's the reason why he's where he is now. Like, he's a one-man army and produce him on song them, write him on song them. You soon hear a song with him too, you know, he's an artist too, you know. Yeah, okay. So upon that, saying him, mix him on song them, everything. But that's what happened, you know what I mean?
That's crazy. And what year was it that you actually broke from the music business to actually pursue this full time?
That would have been about 9 years ago. So we're in that would have been 2011. Yeah, around then. Yeah, about 2011.
And that's when you took it full time, left the music behind and stuff. So you're fulfilling your other side, which is your entrepreneur side, where it's okay, let's get into this corporate stuff. Everything is going good. But you're still part of Code Red, but you're just not actively doing anything in it.
Yeah, at that point in time, I'm not actively doing anything in it unless we have a big dance. When we have a big dance, I want to prepare for this clash. Like, even now, see, when preparation are going for the last world clash, the final of all world clashes that just got canceled, them link me and draw me in, like, yo, so how we are gonna rewrite them songs for these, because it's always a collaborative effort, you know what I mean? And then it always goes back and forth. I come up with a line and Rush come up with a line, and then someone else put on the next line, and then we all went up with the whole thing, you know what I mean? But I wasn't actively a part of the song at that point in time. I wasn't. To be honest with you, in a way, I kind of separated myself from the song. And this is just me being real and honest now. The reason being is because corporate, and this is how, I don't know if you know this, but I also go by the name Edward Lee. Like even now, as I DJ EDM, I DJ EDM as Edward Lee, not Master Lee, right? And the reason why that name came about now is because corporate people aren't going to trust giving their work to a sound man.
Got you.
You understand what I'm saying? So what happened is that the music industry knew me as Master Lee. Cool. See? The corporate world knew me as Edward, which is my first name. Lee is my middle name, but it's what my parents call me. So everybody know me as Lee. You know what I mean? It's a familiar name. So on my WhatsApp now, or my BBM at the time, see? So everybody could find me. I had my name as Edward Lee. So if you're looking for Master Lee, you type in Lee, you find me. If you're looking for Edward, you type in Edward and you find me. And that's how the name Edward Lee came about. It wasn't like I'm trying to reinvent myself or nothing like that. You see me? But because of this corporate path now, I had to create an identity for myself outside of Code Red. Because the two can't coexist. You know what I mean? Like, there were enough events were played that to get the real forward, we had to break a couple rules still. You know what I mean? And the sponsors weren't happy. You know what I mean? I mean, we've been blacklisted by sponsors. I said, yo, these people can't be on any event that we're sponsoring. You know what I mean? So I had to kind of separate myself. And then at that point in time, everybody knew Russian Blade as Code Red. So I could. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people in the corporate world that, unless they watch this interview, don't even know that I'm Master Lee, creator Code Red, and I used to play these songs in the 90s. And they wouldn't even know that. It's new to them. Like, word? For real? Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? So
it's been a good journey. There was two things I wanted to ask you about Code Red before we actually move completely off of that. Was Trooper. You said you got your revenge on Trooper with Code Red now. When was that clash and what happened?
All of these get backs were at Fully Loaded. You know what I mean? The get backs came at Fully Loaded with all of these songs, man. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's a small knife in the ribs. You know what I mean? Like, yo, go man, we feel like. So you think we don't remember them, did it? You know what I mean? So yeah, we got back Trooper at Fully Loaded. See, obviously, we flattened Firelinks at Fully Loaded. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Firelinks flattened us in Brooklyn. Trouble as me attack. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was like like when I left that dance, I was like, damn. Like, yo, my head just had shake, my head hurt me, my have a headache. And I said, yo, what just going on a while ago? Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, we got back everybody, man. You know what I mean?
And it was one of those things. Yeah. All right. One name that's been brought up throughout the whole interview when we started Code Red was Blade. All right. Whatever happened to Blade? Where is he?
Blade migrated. See? So he migrated to Miami. See? And he's now living in New York. Right? So that's what happened with Blade. And at that point in time, we already had Chris Diamond. And Chris Diamond's level of talent is like insane. He's like one of the baddest MCs in the game, period, right now. You know what I mean? All these big clashes that we're taking on. We warred the Bass Odyssey the other day. You know what I mean? Got on for tune and everything. And we lost out of bias. It wasn't even like we really lost. The crowd just biased. That's like him can go toe-to-toe with anybody in any clash dance, as well as Mr. Baddest Gap Selector.
That's what I was just about to say, because I see him in the clashes too, like the Guinness Sounds of Greatness and stuff like that. But then you would turn around and see Code Red on Sands.
Yep. You understand? Yep. Exactly. Because we built a sound like that. We built the sound to be a sound that is the baddest juggling sound, but we're also the baddest clash sound. You see me? So we can go either way. It just depends on where the business is going. You know what I mean? Because you don't know, you can't really stay relevant just after the clash thing. Like, you have to be playing the juggling dances, and if you're only playing the juggling dances, you can't really be a big sound unless you're a clash. You understand what I'm saying? So you kind of have to do both if you want to be in the position that we're in still. You know what I mean? So we play a lot of juggling events. We shell them there. We play a lot of the big clashes. We shell them there too. You know what I mean? And we just do a thing. Just that now it's the new generation and the man of my
Got
band. You know what I mean?
You've been in this business, entertainment business now for, wow, 25, almost 30 years now.
Right.
What would you say would be your highest point in the business and your lowest point in the business so far? And these don't have to be things that everybody sees. It might be a personal feeling, something that happened. Your highest and lowest point in the business.
Wow, that's a tough question, man. The highest point, honestly, was when we killed Violence. That's the highest point. See, like hands down. We were so well prepared for it. Everything just worked. And it's not even the fact that everything just worked. It's a strategy. The dance was about to done. I was like, yo, I don't know what we are going to do, but I know what matter I'm going to do in this situation. And now I met that person, it would call tune for tune right away and trick Violence into playing. And say, yeah, come up play tune for tune and entertain the people then. See, if we didn't do that, that wouldn't have happened. And we wouldn't have gotten the run that we got after that in the Clash world. You get what I'm saying? So that's definitely the most memorable thing for me still. You know what I mean? Or the highest point. From Code Red days, from Travelers days, it would be the time I killed King of the East in the UK. See? The lowest point, that's really, really hard, man. Honestly, I can't even answer that. I don't think I can answer that.
There has to be a moment. Okay, it could be the moment where you had to decide between business and your love of playing sound. It could have been that. Could have been one of the hard times. Something where.
No, if that's what you're talking about, no, that's different. That's the reason why I'm playing back music now. Because you were that now. See? So 9 years ago, I came out of the business. Cool. See, and stopped playing music, went on this corporate path. Still serving the music industry, but now I'm building a traditional business, you know what I mean? And growing that time. That in and of itself is an experience. But I'm so tied to the music industry as a person in terms of my joy and my happiness and who I am, that being out of music left me in a rut. Like just on a personal level, big man thing. You know what I mean? I never felt the same. Like, yeah, money I'm making, cool. You know what I mean? All right, good. But the joy is not the same. You know what I mean? Because what I do, I'm good at building businesses. See? But I'm not going to say I necessarily enjoy building businesses. I'm just good at it.
Fair
You
enough.
know what I mean? So I do it because I'm good at it. And yeah, I see the need for something and I present a business that solves the problem, basically. Saying, but my joy and my real passion was music. You know what I mean? Especially when you're talking about just traveling the world. My life's experience, you know, seeing the amount of places I've seen in this world, you know, seeing. There's no other way I would have seen it without being in the music industry and doing what I did. You know what I mean? Music carried me to Africa. I went back to the motherland. That was a huge experience for me. You know what I mean? I remember when the plane just and I'm seeing Africa for I have pictures of it. You know what I mean? And it's like just a different understanding of everything, man. When you see how people over there live, just everything. Same with Japan. Like in all the years I had a student, I'm working for the Japanese sounds. You know what I mean? I was the studio where the Japanese sounds preferred to go because it was private. So I'm working for all the Japanese sounds. So Mighty Crown come down the line. You know what I mean? Yeah, me and Mighty Crown were rolling mad deep. I played Mighty Crown at one point in time. I didn't even tell you that. See, I didn't even tell you that. I played like 2 events for them. See, because me and them were so close. I was doing all the studio work. I was switching their dubs onto other rhythms for them. I knew their entire catalog of dubs. And they were trying to break into being more than the hardcore sound and class sound that they are. You know what I mean? So they started taking some quote unquote more like a Sands type event, more midtown to uptown type events. And I remember they went to one, see? And me and Chin was mad close, still close, see? And yo, it must forward. It was like, yo, Lee, just forward. Sammy T went, and Ninja went, see? And it was like, Lee, just forward anyway, man. You know the promoter them, yo, rather than we go deal with them, yo, just forward. So then I went with them. Now, when they went, they kind of got lost, see, in the dance, see? And I don't know who suggested it, but somebody said, yo, Lee, you go play. And the second round, I played. You see me coming all the dub them. You know what I mean? And I played and Sammy did Mike. I played that song like twice. Me and them was mad close. It's them carrying me go Japan. And we toured Japan. Tokyo, Okinawa, Osaka. Toured the whole of Japan with them.
I
You
did.
know what I mean?
When they were in Jamaica a lot, was their office close to yours?
No, this is before they had an office. This is before they had an office. You
Yeah.
see me? So yeah, I mean, as them land, them call me like Lee. So what's the word? Like when we have a link, who we have a voice this week, blah blah blah, etc. etc. You know what I mean? Like mad close.
That's
You see me?
crazy right there. So then, yeah, you said you were offered in 9 years. You decided to now basically rebrand yourself now and get back in the music business. But now you're in the music business as Edward Lee playing EDM. What was that switch about?
All right, so here it is 9 years later now, saying I hit a low point, saying where I'm waking up every day and I don't feel excited about life.
Mm-hmm.
You see me? I would go as far as to say, yo, depression, I like me. Saying big man thing. Saying? And it's like, yeah, I'm making money, business is doing well, but yeah, I'm just not happy, man. You know what I mean? And that's when I kind of went on a spiritual path, saying not really just spiritual, just learning how to reconnect with what I'm supposed to be doing, what makes me happy, where my joy is. You know what I mean? How I can serve other people on this earth, doing what I love. Those things, you know what I mean? And it's been a long process, like maybe 2 years, that turned me around from that point. So, and one of the things I did was I realized that one of my dreams was that when I envisioned my life back then, like no, I'd be a producer and wake up in the morning and go into my studio. And that's how my day would start. See? And I'd be a Billboard producer, multi-platinum, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. 'Cause I saw my life only as being in music. All right. And then it occurred to me, like about 2 years ago now, but I can do that now, even as a hobby, just to reintroduce the joy back into my life. That's when I built this room. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
And this room had all CD duplication equipment in it and everything. And I turned it into a music room. And I brought in a keyboard and this and that. And I started dabbling back with the idea of music, but I wasn't fully 100% sure what I was going to do with it yet. See? And then 1 year ago, literally November 2019, see? A lot of promoters, see? I'd buck them out the road. Promoters doing throwback events. And you have a lot of promoters now in Jamaica, see? Who used to keep the original 90s events. And they're now re-keeping these events, but now for a new audience. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I got to these events and I'd always buck a promoter and they would ask me like, yo, you know, I start playback music. You will wait, I don't know what I do. You know what I mean? And a throwback event in Jamaica, you know. You have retro, which is like 70s, 80s, all the way back. Mm-hmm. You have throwback. Throwback is more like 95 to 2005. See? So you're talking about the height of my career in the 90s. Plus when Code Red bust. See? Nobody can play that. Yeah, nobody can play that era like me. You know what I mean? I have dubs from the 90s go straight up into when Code Red bust and yo, Kartel Voice 32 dub one day. You know what I mean? No real thing, me I tell you. You know what I mean? I said so.
Code Red.
Yeah. So we're loaded.
Yeah.
So anyway, so now I start thinking about it now at this time, and I'm like, I wonder if I should start playback music though. Like I knew one day I'd go back into it now. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really know when, and I wasn't really feeling the vibe at the time. But because I was getting these signs now, I was like, you know what? I wonder. And I pulled out my controller, see? My DJ controller now, see? Which I didn't even buy. I have two of my closest friends in life are Y Rush, which everybody knows, and a youth named DJ GQ, who is from Fort Lauderdale, and Y100, see? In Miami. See, and he bought me the DJ controller. I knew him from Travelers Days. He was a promoter back then. That's why I met him. See? Okay. And he bought me the controller and said, Lee, one day you're going to play back music. So hold this. I don't know when you're going to play it, but just hold this. And this was like 3 years before I even took it out. Right?
That's crazy.
So last year, November, I have the controller there. I collect dust. See? And I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can change my mood. And let me see if it actually grabbed me to play back music. And I actually got all the 90s song them, including our dub them and everything from Lang, Code Lang. See? And pull out the console and I started playing back the music. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Muscle. See? I was bored out of my skull. See? Now that sounds weird, but let me tell you why. Me bust them tune in the 90s and me send them go road. When Dave put out Broke Out, Dave gave the rhythm exclusively to Travelers, Stone Love, Colin Hines on radio, to Mataran, see, and Renaissance. You understand what I'm saying? So there were only 5 people that had that rhythm. So me send them tune go road. You see me? And then when we started Code Red in 2001 now, when you dip and go into the last year stuff on Code Red, that was the same 90s material. So we even loaded up Broke Out and those rhythms with Kartel and Mavado and Busy Signal and all these things, because that's what the throwback was for Code Red. So I've played these songs 2 times in my life. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I can't listen to them singing again. I mean, I don't mind going out and hearing them, but to play them again, it doesn't feel like growth. It feels like I'm going backwards. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I was about to just quit, forget it. See? It's like, sure. But now I feel it's all right. Let's go back to what I was doing.
It was a good try.
Maybe I go back into production or something instead. You know what I mean? And then before I did that, I was like, you know what? Let me just download my EDM folder. Because my same virgin, DJ GQ from Miami, saying is heavy into like mainstream and open format. So he gave me a whole EDM folder. And as a matter of fact, he's an EDM fan like me. So even in Travelers days, we would leave the Travelers dance and then go to South Beach and go to an electronic music club. That's what we used to do. You see me? So that's how long I've been a fan of that genre. You know what I mean? And I downloaded that folder, and after playing through the music, my energy went through the roof. Like I got so excited. I was like, yeah, I was like up for like next 4 hours. See? Like I swear. And then it just hit me. Like, if the point is to connect to what makes you happy, or to connect to what you're passionate about, or gives you joy, it's gonna make you excited to get up in the morning. This is it. You see me? And that's when I started thinking, now, well, maybe I should enter back the business now and play EDM. You know what I mean? And here we are now, a year later, saying, and I would say I'm fully into it now, meaning that I'm now producing again, saying, but I'm producing EDM. That's my new path from Jamaica. Like, my goal right now is to be the Jamaican EDM guy. That's my difference.
And what do you mean as in have the EDM sound but have dancehall reggae Jamaican artists on it?
Yes. I've already done an EDM remix, you know, that I play in my live stream with Skilly Bang. Like,
I heard that one.
That's what I'm saying. Sizzler, I have an EP I'm actually gonna drop next year. So you're hearing this for the first time, man. To officially reintroduce myself back into the business and come up with the marketing behind it, everything, press release, Masterly, founder of Code Red, enters back into the music game to pursue EDM. And the EP is going to be all EDM remixes. So, you know, I have a Sizzler that I'm putting out. I have, and this is like underground stuff. This is for the DJs to play. This is not even like official productions, like this is the official remix of anything. This is just to reintroduce myself to the business as this. See? That I can do this, and it's as good as anything you're seeing from or hearing from any of the top producers overseas. You understand what I'm saying? Sizzler, I have the We Pray remix with Dre Island and Pop. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I have a whole lot of things. You know what I mean? I have a remix working on right now for a song that Rush has. Saying this is an official remix with Richie Stevens and Gentleman, and that's going to be an official remix. You understand? It's a song he did that was more like world music, but from the moment I heard it, I was like, this as a dance or electronic track would be insane. Some of that I worked on. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just hit me that if I was gonna do back this music thing, this is what I should do. And the more and more I went into it, the more and more it energized me, and the more I realized I could do it. Because that was the thing. A lot of people said to me, so why are you doing this as Edward Lee, right? And not Master Lee. And it's because Master Lee has a legacy that needs to be preserved. And I didn't know whether I was going to be good at this EDM thing or not. I just knew that I loved it. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
And I don't even know if anybody would receive it the way they're receiving it. So I was like, you know what? Let me do it as an alter ego. You know what I mean? And then see how it's received. And if I'm good at it and I feel like I should pursue it, then I'll reconnect it back with Master Lee. Like all the remixes that I'm doing, even the EP I'm going to put out, they're all Master Lee remixes. It says it in the title. Master Lee Future House Remix, Master Lee Progressive House Remix, whatever it is, you know what I mean? So I'm now combining back the two. But I had to take a break from Master Lee to pursue and explore what this whole EDM thing was for me, you know what I mean? And I did that as it.
That's so crazy because, again, we're here in 2020, so it's like new time, new things, new sounds. The internet has given you access to so many places. And again, this is something that you've been into already, EDM. So why not take the EDM and what I have at home, combine the two of them, and this is what we have right here.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, realistically, very few people, if anybody at all, has an understanding I have of both worlds. Like I grew up in England, right? That's what I'm saying. I used to leave all those travelers dances and go to the electronic music clubs. So I used to live it, you know what I mean? And then I was also this guy from Travelers, from Code Red, who's done so much in dancehall. So I understand, like very few people, if anybody at all, how to combine the two and make it work. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. Who would you wanna actually produce a song, not a remix? Produce, say, hey, you know what? I think this artist would sound amazing on an EDM beat that we could produce.
Oh man, that's the biggest part of the reason why I'm doing this. See? Because this is not. It's about the joy of music now. I'm already doing stuff that is financially lucrative. You know what I mean? So it's not about that. It's about the joy of music. And every time I hear so many EDM tracks, I'm always thinking like, yo, we have so many singers out here that would have sung that better, that would murder this track. And I can't name them. Craig from Voicemail, fantastic singer. See? Way beyond dancehall. You understand what I'm saying? Craigie T from TOK, fantastic singer. Fantastic singer. They even talk about man like Taurus Riley. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? So these are the people who, you know, I really want to bring to the forefront of that world. Christopher Martin is another one. You know what I mean? Like his voice is perfect for that international level mainstream EDM production.
That word where they just flow on the beat, nice and light, nothing too heavy.
Yeah. And then a lot of it is instrumentation. So it's not even like a dancehall track where I'm after the 2 verse. And no, not like that. It could be 1 verse and a chorus, and I'll just do everything else. You know what I mean? And vocal samples and so forth. And yeah, man, there are a lot of people I'm excited to work with, man. That's why I'm putting out the EP. My EP is really to declare to the business that I am now this. So when you hear this and you hear it on radio, like you hear a We Pay remix, see? And you say, yo, that body, you know who for link.
Yeah.
You know that when you want a remix like this from somebody in Jamaica that understands what we're doing, and you're a Jamaican artist, this is the person to link. Him have the legacy, him have the understanding, he's paid his dues, and him know this genre. You know what I mean?
You're authentic, and that's what it comes down to. You're not trying to invent something. You're authentic.
You know,
like what I love and two things I love together in one space.
You know, like how when you used to have like international producers now that aren't really a part of dancehall trying to do a dancehall track, and it just never felt right. You understand what I'm saying? Or like when before we understood hip hop, we try and produce a hip hop track and it never felt right.
Yeah,
that's it. It's like you have to be authentic to what you're doing, man. You know what I mean? And I'm 100% authentic to this genre. It's what I listen to every single day. It has what took me out of that depression. And then COVID lick, which made it worse. See? And then COVID actually became an opportunity for me. See? Because that's when I started live streaming. I live stream every Saturday on IG, right? And I live stream me playing EDM every Saturday on my personal IG. And people come out every single week and I run joke, and it breaks the whole social isolation. because my live stream is not like I'm playing music and you watch somebody play music. Like, nah, I'm talking and you're typing and we're running joke and people are that I know from long time, they're carrying each other in the chat and it's just fun. You know what I mean? But we're playing like dope music, you know what I mean? So it allowed me to understand myself as a DJ again, now playing this genre for the first time. See it? And realize that, yo, I'm good at this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm really, really good at it. I can do this. You know what I mean? And that's the feedback I get from people that come to the live. And then, obviously, like I said, it helped with the social isolation. Then obviously branch into production, because a real way to break in EDM, it has nothing about being a good DJ. Like, not anybody, but you have a ton of great EDM DJs out there that don't bust. Because what breaks you in the EDM world is notoriety over production. That's what makes you different.
And it's the same world that like a Calvin Harris and all these guys are in, or we're talking about something different? Same world.
Same world. And the reason they are at the top of their game is because of their production, not because they're the best DJs. They might be the best DJs, but that's not the reason why they're known and get paid the way they do or as popular as they are. You know what I mean? It's because of their production. And that's the reason why, just to give you a little background information into the whole genre, that's the reason why in EDM, you'll always see like David Guetta featuring the artist. You're not going to see that this is an artist produced by David Guetta, because the artist is really the producer. And where EDM is coming from, they weren't using the big names on these tracks. It was like, yo, we'll have a track, it's wicked, we just need some vocals for kind of give it a spice. So they'd literally feature somebody around them. This wasn't like a big artist. It wasn't like a Beyonce that had sold a bazillion records. It was just somebody around them, like nobody had heard of. So it was really about the producer being the artist, and then they'd feature vocals from a particular person. You know what I mean? That's the reason why anybody that I'm voicing now, I don't need a full song. I just need like a verse and a hook, and I'm good.
And you're good. And again, to them, it's like, what? Where do they do this? Like,
yeah.
All I have to do is come give you a hook and a verse, and my job is done. Sign me up for this all day, every day.
Yep.
No, definitely, Lee. I can't wait to see what's really when it's coming. And when should the album be out? You said
the EP. I'm looking for January 2021. But to be honest with you, I no longer put myself on a schedule like that. It's part of the thing that made me unhappy. I'm always giving myself these deadlines, like, yo, I have to do this by that and this by that. And a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, it's creative. You can't force it. And then there are deadlines I'm imposing on myself. It's not like I'm doing it for a label and the dev giving me the deadline. It's my deadline.
Yeah.
So if I don't meet it, so what? So I start pressuring myself like that. I'm hoping for January 2021, but I still have like about 3 tracks I need to produce from scratch for it. I have like 3 already. And it's going to be a small EP, maybe like 6. And yeah, whenever those 3 are done to my liking and I feel like, yeah, it's right, then I put it out, man. But I'm hoping for January 2021. New year, hopefully a better year. Why not, use it to like, restart the whole music journey, man, or bring it to the forefront and put it that way.
This conversation was a full circle conversation where it came where you started to where you are right now. You understand? And it was music, business, right back into music. That right there, Master Lee, amazing conversation, big boss. Amazing. Thanks. Just to see the journey that you've been through. I know some of it, but there was
I know I know you know. That's why I'm glad that you're actually the person doing the interview, because I've been one to tell the story, but it's like I'd rather somebody who has authentically been around from them time there and can even remind me of certain things like you did. Yeah, tell me about dance. I'm gonna remember, bro. I'm like, because I remember the dance with Lynx. Yeah. I didn't remember it was Brooklyn until they mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, it's true, it's Brooklyn. Like, them man, I know everything. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a joy for me to do an interview like this, sharing all this history with somebody like you who's been around from them time there and know what really are going on and where it come from. You know what I mean?
It's been a joy to actually have you. As I said, I connected one time from my connector. I said, yo, it's Muscle. It was on right away. He said, what? Muscle Canada? Let's go. You know what I mean? Right away.
I don't change. Like my loyalties will always be the same. So the same way you used to support me back then, you know what I mean? You come back into the link now, right away, ready. Let's go. I'm gonna forget nothing, bro. I'm gonna forget nothing.
I hear that. Okay, I need 2 contacts for you before we get you out of here. Contact for if they want to book Code Red, see what Code Red is up to, leave that contact information. And then I need your personal information. Leave it so they could check out stuff you're doing in the EDM world.
All right. Now I'm going to have to go on my phone for that now, man.
Yeah.
All right. You see, I can't even give out these numbers.
Yeah.
Like the real person to link will be Rush, but I can't give out his number.
Okay, how about this? No numbers, Instagram contacts.
Oh, Code Red Sound. Straight. Code Red Sound on all social media platforms. See? And that includes coderedsound@gmail. So if you really do want to contact Sound, email them. You know what I mean? And somebody will get back to you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And yourself, if they wanted to check out what Master Lee, codename Edward Lee, codename Master Lee, what you're up to, where could they find out what you're up to on social media?
All right. I'm on all platforms except IG as I am Edward Lee. So that's Twitter, that's Twitch, that's SoundCloud, Mixcloud, all social media platforms, Facebook too, as I am Edward Lee. See, on IG, I am Edward Lee live, because that's where I go live. So yeah, you wanna check out my live stream Saturday nights, 9 p.m. at Edward Lee Live on IG. Email address codenamemasterlee@gmail. So if you need to contact me for whatever reason, you know what I mean, just hit me up on Gmail and I'll respond.
Lee, epic conversation, boss. You're gonna learn so much out of this, especially somebody that's on the forefront, that was on the forefront, went to the background, and then now you're coming back on the forefront in something different. Trust me, they're gonna learn so much when this drops.
Yeah, I'm glad I could share, and I'm glad I can help anybody in any way I can to understand more about where it's coming from, so they can understand where to take it. Because that's what it's really about, you know. It's not about what I'm doing. It's about what people can, or what I've done. It's about what people can learn from what I've done and what I've experienced and grow it, so that the business is always evolving. We're becoming bigger as a nation, as a culture, as everything. That's what I want to see. You know what I mean?
You're on the right path, my brother. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let me give you an outro and get you out of here, because this was a crazy conversation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Cuts Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out.
Big up. Respect.
This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinesmusichut.com.